Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Resident Evil 7, End of Zoe. Previously, we made our way into the quarantine zone after the swamp monster eventually caught up to him and Zoe at the church, which I think is either on or near the Baker estate. And we had the revelation that the swamp monster was, in fact, Jack Baker, Joe's brother and one of our main antagonists from the main story, and also one of the greatest victims of the main story. And so we are at the Baker estate right now in the old house, and we are going to press inward with our new gauntlet and try to catch up with the two of them. Looks like they've modified the place a little bit. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Gotta be up ahead.
This is so cool.
Jesus. What happened here?
Yeah, really. That's the part that's kind of mind-blowing. The fact that he lives out here so far out there and he's never connected with them over 3 years. I mean, I know it might be one of those things where they just didn't come up with it, you know, quite at the time, where maybe this wasn't really fully well thought out ahead of time, but I kind of wonder if they were thinking about it a little bit at least. Okay. I guess I didn't do too bad, right? I don't know if I can use the scrap for anything, but let's check out the documents. We got, I think, just the two of them, right? Product name, AMG 78. Okay, so this is about the gauntlets. Developed to assist in the transport of heavy equipment and supplies. Yeah, like I said, it's basically meant to act as a thing to carry heavy weight. When worn, the wearer's nerve impulses and are detected and synced with the actuator, allowing max output to exceed 50 horsepower. State-of-the-art shock absorbers reduce all recoil experienced in the wearer to 0. Technical specifications: max power output 78 AP over 6,000 RPMs. Max torque, I actually don't know those units. That's Newton meters, I think, per RPMs. And unit weight, 5.5 kilograms. Okay. Alright, here, this is kind of cool. We finished analyzing the tissue samples believed to be from Jack Baker. The cells exhibit an extraordinary resilience to physical and chemical damage. The E-series mutamycete secretes a telomerase-like enzyme through the cell wall, causing abnormal activation of the ERK pathway to achieve forced cell division quickly, regenerating damaged tissues. And I brought this up in the main story, but like I said, with the way that Jack regenerates and that he kept coming back, he's the only one that regenerated as much as he did. And in the end, he's probably the one who took the longest to change. Whereas, Evelyn was probably the most extreme case of the kind of premature aging. And that, like they said, when she originally was spreading her infection, she was vomiting far more in excess of her body mass, which would explain the premature aging to an extent. So telomerase is an enzyme that we have to extend the telomeres of our chromosomes. If we didn't do this in our gamete cells, the ones that we use, the ones that essentially your sperm and egg cells essentially is what's going to come out of that. We would actually lose a good portion of our DNA every generation, to the point that we probably wouldn't last beyond, I would say, one generation. I don't check numbers on that for me because I'm not entirely sure on that, but that might hypothetically go longer. But you wear away your DNA over time. Essentially, every time you replicate it, the chromosomes get a little bit shorter, and the telomeres keep them from eroding into functional regions of your DNA, whether that be genes or regulatory regions or whatever. And so that's kind of what keeps your cells going. And in Jack's case, what it's doing is it's keeping him going as well, because with the amount of regeneration he does, he would eventually lose his ability to replicate, which is why Evelyn did not survive beyond that point. She started to age prematurely because she was overdoing it, essentially. Because we know that she would have been doing this because she was the one spreading the mutamycete. And the ERK pathway is one of the main signaling pathways for cell proliferation or cell division, or in this case, producing new body parts for him, essentially. However, the repeated cell division quickly leads to breakdown in the intracellular structure, leading to the sloughing, slurry-like effect we've observed in the collected tissue samples. Our working hypothesis puts this down to the cells reaching their Hayflick limit. That's actually something I'm not quite familiar with, but I'll continue on. Note that the samples from the other family members, the wife Marguerite, the son Lucas, and the daughter Zoe, do not exhibit the same extreme regenerative properties. The symptoms may differ from subject to subject, further study required. I really wish they would have built on this more, because I think that's a really cool science aspect to build on, and a really cool idea that explains a little bit of what was going on in the main story, with whether that's what they intended or not. So I really like this document that it suggests that. So let's head on in.
Just you wait, Jack. Zoe's coming with me.
This may not go very well. I don't have much in supplies anymore.
Zoe!
I'm gonna scope the area out first. I guess worst case scenario, I could always just change the difficulty. It feels weird doing that, though, considering I have completed this on its hardest mode ever. We got 4 heals, though, and we got quite a few effigies.
Zoe! Zoe, wake up! Wake up! Yoda's around the dog now.
Oh!
Bring it
Forgot
on!
about that. Oh! Come on, dude. Oh, that's why I don't like this fight. It's a cool fight, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'm just not good at it or it's one of those that man, takes a while to get through. Crap. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, game, really? Really, game? Oh, I thought I had another heal. Oh, come on. No! Oh, oh, I hate you, game. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Fiber, what do you think? Do I bite the bullet and take it? I've done this on Joe Must Die, okay? I promise. Fine. Yes. I admit defeat.
Zoe! Zoe, wake up! Wake up!
Well, let's see how this changes things, I guess.
Rabid dog. Put you out of the open. Bring it on!
Watch, I'm gonna end up... If I die on easy... Oh, come on. Just... He's still kicking my butt. He's still kicking my butt. Taking a lot more damage, though, of course.
You remember me, right? You remember the time?
Yeah, see, I didn't have to heal.
Kids? You remember when I closed locked you into the swamp?
Oh my god. Yeah, see, I would have died there already. Oh, come on. Oh, that was it? That really did make it easy. Maybe it was more of a damage output thing. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was more of a damage output thing. Maybe I just wasn't hitting him enough. Oh well. Oh well.
So, hang in there. You're gonna be all right now. Zoe? Zoe! Wake up, Zoe!
Joe, what happened to her? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Don't you worry about me. It's all over now.
Go, 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 go! Don't move! Get your hands up! Get down! Weapons down! Weapons down! It's all right. You must be Zoe Baker.
Who the hell's asking?
Chris Redfield. Been looking all over for you. We're here to help.
You're gonna be just fine.
I was trapped with those monsters for 3 years. All of them trying to kill me. I can't believe it's finally over.
You gotta know. Deep down somewhere, they were still your family. And they loved you. Especially your daddy. Even in his final days.
We found her. She's a tough kid. Of course. Hang on. Someone wants to speak to you.
Zoe. Zoe, are you there?
It's you. I don't believe it. You actually made it.
We both did.
You didn't forget about me.
I told you I'd send help, and I always keep my promises.
Thank you, Ethan.
It says normal difficulty. I changed the difficulty. You can't give me normal. Unless I did something really stupid there. Anyways, yeah, so that's our stats for this. Okay. Restarts. Restarts wouldn't be the same as death, would it? I must have died there quite a few times then, because I think we were hitting like 7 in the previous episode. So I must have gone up against him at least like 7 times there. Like I said, I've already done this on Joe Must Die though, so it's not like I can't do it. I just don't have what I need right now to do it, and I don't have the patience to redo it. I knew coming up to that was gonna be hard though, because that is a difficult fight. Wait, it said I wouldn't get unlockables. Did I not switch it to easy? There's no way that was on normal. Whatever. I've already got it unlocked in my other game. Doesn't matter. All right. That is the end of Zoe. So, I really liked this story over the Not a Hero story. I really thought this was it's weird, but it's like way more intriguing, and I like the fact that they brought Jack back because, especially with that little bit of the storyline of how they went into a bit of the science on why it kind of adds some explanation for why Evelyn degraded as quickly as she did versus why he just keeps coming back and back and back and nothing seems to affect him. I like that touch. I really wish they would have done a little bit more on that science because that was a nice little bit to throw in there at the end. But I like the fact that they also, even through both Not a Hero and through End of Zoe, I like the fact that they concluded the story because here things kind of come full circle in the end. We now know what happened to everybody, and we know that Ethan kept his promise and sent Chris to go and save her, essentially. Because who knows where they would have been at this point. But I also like to point out that when we went into the quarantine area, all the stuff we encountered outside of there was not in the quarantine area. So the stuff is not contained. So you gotta wonder. I don't remember if they elaborate much on this in the files, like the extra files in Resident Evil Village, but I'm gonna guess that they went ahead and incinerated the site or something like that. Because what else are you gonna do? I also kind of like that. So they kind of set this up with the main story, because when Jack, like I said, when he calcified, his body didn't fall apart. So that would explain why there was some remnant of him still in there. And it hadn't really been long enough, because he was overgrown at that point, but it wouldn't have been long enough like the mole did where his body would have been consumed, and I don't think his body would have been consumed because just because of the amount of regeneration, he was undergoing in that process. So just really cool in the way they kind of brought him back into this, because I don't think it's just me, but I think most people really seem to, of all the characters in the story, most people really seem to like Jack, and I'm no exception to that. I love him. I think he's an amazing character. I also like that they brought in the brother, but I also still question, where's this guy been for the last 3 years? And I'm not saying that with the assumption of, maybe they just didn't come up with the story by then, because maybe they didn't, but if they had this in the back of their mind, I kind of wonder, did they just not reconnect that much? Are they just not that close anymore? Because they both seem to have strong family ties, and I'm assuming since Mia and Evelyn showed up, they haven't exactly been going to church anymore. Maybe they have, I don't know. Maybe they've been keeping up appearances somehow, but with the state they've been in, I highly doubt that. The house was designated as abandoned and all that when it comes to the old the guest house and all that, so I'm gonna go on a limb and say they've pretty much been around the house most of the time. And we know Lucas was out in the mines working with the connections people, so just really cool story overall, I think, when it comes to this one. So that may be the conclusion to our overarching story of Resident Evil 7 when it comes to, we experienced most of this through the eyes of Ethan, some from Mia, and then we got to see a little bit from Chris and Joe here in the end. And that kind of concludes, for me, the majority of the unanswered questions that I had at the end of the game, especially over the years where I started to really think about it more in depth rather than just my first experience. Because, like I said, those questions that you probably innately have is, why is Chris working with Umbrella? That was answered. Why, what happened to Lucas? And what happened to Zoe? Now that's been answered. And I said my only lingering question at this point was I wanted some more explanation on Ethan, because Ethan was clearly had the Mutima seat in him. Otherwise, he would not have been able to have his hand would not have reconnected. That's not how. There's parts in there that you have to very much reconnect properly in order for a hand to be functional again, for a body part to reconnect properly. And staples aren't going to cut it. I'm just putting that out there. So now I know, like I said, at the end of the main story, that does get answered to some extent in Resident Evil Village, but I don't. I kind of like my explanation for it a little bit more, with the idea that that essentially it's kind of like what's going on with Jack. Just he seems a bit more autonomous in that sense, and so that's the part where that could have used some explanation, because I don't think that's really ever completely answered at all. But they do kind of elaborate on some of that in Village, so if you're curious about that, you can go check that out. And like I said, I might jump on that down the road. We are not quite done with this yet, though. There is one more story-heavy part that I want to go over, which is Daughters. And before we do that, I think I would also like to revisit Bedroom, because I think it's a puzzle story. It doesn't really fit very well with like the main story and all that, but it's probably of all the banned footage stuff, it's probably the one that comes closest to feeling like a legitimate story. I think that one's really cool and worth exploring. So, not that the other DLCs aren't worth checking out, they definitely are, but just for the sake of this series, that's where I'm what we're gonna do next. We'll go to Bedroom first, and then we'll end off with Daughters, which kind of goes into the background of how this all started. So, with that being said, let us close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.